Hey, enjoy the show.
My favorite Lakeview memory was probably when Mr. O took us to the High Museum and we ate Mexican afterwards. The Mexican food was outstanding. The health score was relatively high, and we were just packed in real tight like a family. And it was a good time.
One of my favorite things about Lakeview is the whole entire learning experience. There's many times when teachers have given me very good insight into better things to do with my life. Coach Simpson, Coach Chittero, Coach Waddell, and I just love Lakeview Academy.
My favorite time at Lakeview Academy is spending it with Coach Waddell in the morning for swim practice because he's just a wonderful coach and I enjoy spending my swimming hours with him.
My favorite Lakeview memory is all the fall festivals I've been to over the years because everyone shows up in their costumes. You have the cakewalk where you just kind of stand in a line for a while, but then you get a cake and you eat it at the table with your hands. Yeah, you have the pony rides where you're that's just a special experience. And then all the carnival games that you start out playing them when you're like 5 and they're crazy, and then you end up running them, and that kind of represents how life is gonna go. You know, you're gonna go through it and then you're gonna be the one pulling it off.
Shout out Mr. Waddell for always helping me in AP Stats.
Shout out to Coach Lolly for teaching history.
Shout out Coach Simpson because you always tell me to tuck in my shirt but it never ends up happening. But you keep trying and it taught me perseverance. Shout out Miss Skinner for always being there for us. Shout out to Miss Ginger because every day what gets me through the day is I go to the lunchroom and we gossip, you give me life advice, you put me on the right path.
Shout out to Mr. Gilbert for teaching me all the math that I know now. Shouts out to Miss Ball for being my mom at school and making sure I don't do stupid things.
One of my favorite memories at Lakeview are the Coach Cottrellisms. For example, when we get off the bus at any game, it's who we are and who we represent, and then defense wins games and rebounding wins championships. Love you, Coach Cottrell.
My most meaningful Lakeview experience was winning the middle school basketball championship in 8th grade with the boys. It was awesome. It was a good time.
What I love about Lakeview is coming in the door every morning and seeing John Simpson's beautiful face and letting him tell us to tuck our shirts in.
My favorite Lakeview memory was senior trip week, getting to ride all the rides with my friends and going ziplining with Miss Ball.
My favorite thing about Lakeview is the close-knit, almost like a family environment. That's kind of cool. Walking through the hallways, seeing people that you know, kind of uplifts you. And also if you have an issue or something, having teachers or people to go to. So I think that's a really cool part about Lakeview.
So my favorite Lakeview memory is definitely when the robotics team get to the state championship in my junior year, because everyone was working so hard for it, and we were revising our engineering notebook. And at the moment we finally get into the state, that was awesome.
My favorite Lakeview memory was trying space ice cream for the first time at the National Air and Space Museum on the 10th grade DC trip, because I had never tried it before and it tasted exactly like marshmallows.
My favorite memory at Lakeview is when Mr. Simpson took us to Trump's building at Washington, D.C. We saw one of the Trump kids there and we got free water. It was really good. And we all had our hats and masks and it was really fun.
My favorite Lakeview memory is when the basketball teams got into the Final Four in the state, and I just very love basketball.
Shout out to Jenna Blackwell, my mother. She has loved me since day one and teaching me all those multiplication tables, and it's really helped me. Love you, Mom.
I'd like to shout out Todd Cottrell, Coach Groon, Coach Carswell, Coach Clark. Those are all my favorites right there, my boys.
Shout out to Coach Ollie, Coach Cottrell, Coach Groon, most importantly, Logan Jones.
I'd like to give a shout out to my parents. Love you guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come to this school. And I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Coach Lawley. I probably don't tell him this enough, but he's been a really big influence inside the classroom and outside the classroom for me, so thank you, Coach.
I'd like to give a shout out to all my teachers, all the way from kindergarten since I've been here. I love all y'all.
Shout out to Mr. Waddell for being a great calculus teacher.
Shout out to Mrs. Massaro for being a great counselor.
A big shout out to Mr. McGill, because he is the best.
All hail Miguel.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer My favorite Lakeview memory would be the 10th grade trip to DC when I got lost at, I think it was the Capitol. And like it took like 30 minutes or so for Coach Simpson to find me. Luckily I was found.
So my favorite Lakeview memory is definitely being a part of the Final Four basketball team. I just transferred here, but the memories that I made with the teammates and just being a part of that whole just season was great. The memories I made were phenomenal.
My favorite Lakeview experience was honestly before I was even a student here. So I was still like debating whether I wanted to come to the school or not, but I came and sat in on a practice for the basketball team, and then after I saw all the players go up and hug Coach, and I was like, okay, like this is different. Like they got a different kind of culture here, so I was like, I'm set. Like this is where I'm gonna go. So that's what's on.
What's probably most meaningful to me about Lakeview is that everyone's kind of a family here. Like when I first came here, everyone in the office was greeting me, and all the coaches and the football teammates when I came here, they all just took me in, and that just meant a lot to me because coming from my other school, that just wasn't a thing where everyone accepts everyone, and I don't know, it's just a nice thing to have with having everyone or knowing everyone has my back.
Shout out Mr. Martin, government, love it. Mr. Gilbert, shout out. And Mr. Chester, thanks for making me laugh every day. And then Coach, hopefully I don't get chewed out the rest of the year.
Shout out Coach Cottrell, getting me through the hard times at the beginning of the year last year. Shout out the rest of the coaching staff, Coach Lawley, Coach Barry, Coach C, Coach Fadul. Then shout out my sons, Arian and Diego, my guys right there.
Shout out my learning support teachers, you know, getting me through Miss Ball and Miss Edward right now. And then shout out to Coach Groon for being there for me. And then shout out Miss Ball because she's the best teacher I've ever had.
I'd like to give a shout out to the learning support teachers, Miss Leipold, Miss Conrad, and Miss Ball, because honestly they're the best teachers ever.
The thing I love most about Lakeview is probably the teachers. They care about the students in and out of the classroom, especially Miss McFall. I love her. And her 10 puppies. Those are the best.
What I love most about Lakeview are the friendships I've made, because coming from a large school, it's a lot different. But then I've learned to like make a lot of friends, and that I know they'll last a lifetime, and that's really great about Lakeview.
My favorite Lakeview memory is the 7th grade Disney trip, because that was the first time I went to Disney and I was surrounded by all my friends, which made the experience so much more meaningful, and Lakeview was just able to make that happen.
My favorite Lakeview memory is probably the Washington, D.C. trip, just because it was really cool to go there and see a lot of our history and learn more about it. And the trip was fun altogether. We had a lot of fun times, and it was nice to talk to people and do things that we wanted.
I think what I love most about Lakeview is that the teachers, like, you get to grow really close to them, and it's a very nice experience. I feel like you don't really get that at another school. Kind of becomes family, so that's really nice.
I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Mathers, because I'm always in her office, like coming in there like at least 2-3 times a day just to like talk to her, checking in and checking out, seeing the other teachers. She's awesome.
Shout out to Mr. Chester he was there during the Washington, D.C. trip to walk me through it and be at my side, and he's also just been a great teacher this year and is always kind to me.
Shout out to Miss Wilkins. She's so nice. I remember going to her in the summer, and she would like take time out of her summer to just like tutor me. I don't really understand why I was here during the summer, but I was. Yeah, that was really nice. I took a lot of her like little clocks, the ones that they teach you like time on. But yeah, they're still at my house.
I want to shout out my mom. I love seeing you at campus. I also love just your enthusiasm and how you just love teaching kids violin, and how excited you are that they're just becoming better at it.
My favorite Lakeview memory is in Coach Clark's chemistry class last year. We went out on the field and blew up stuff like a bottle and a banana, and then at the end we blew up this big watermelon that failed a couple of times, but we finally got it and nobody was hurt, so it was all good. That was my favorite time in Lakeview.
So my favorite Lakeview memory would be the time when I was in 10th grade and we won the region tournament in basketball, and then we went to the state Final Four for the first time ever in school history. It was a really good experience, and I had a lot of fun with all my teammates and enjoying the winning and being together and being excited and getting a trophy and medals. That was probably my favorite memory.
My favorite thing about Lakeview was being on the tennis team with everybody and getting to go to the state tournament.
I
I actually have two favorite Lakeview memories, and they both deal with soccer. And my first one would be sophomore year when we played Hebron, and the game went to penalty kicks, and I kicked the winning PK to win. And then my other favorite one would be junior year in soccer when we played Lumpkin, and I was the goalie, and we beat them for the first time and for a really long time.
Probably the most meaningful experience at Lakeview for me was when we got to see Miss Leipold beat cancer. We were all in 8th grade, and we got to come back the next year and see her cancer-free, so that was really special.
Okay, I would like to give my teacher shout out to Mr. Gilbert because he is the best teacher here, and his class is always fun, and I look forward to going every day.
Shout out to Marvin for beating me into being a better student every day.
And shout out to Coach Green for keeping us small. Shout out to Miss Marcher because we couldn't do senior year without you. Shout out to Miss Ball. She's my favorite teacher ever, and she made me love English.
Shout out to Miss Edwards, Gladys Goral, and Miss Marcero. Y'all are the goats. Woo!
My favorite Lakeview memory is 8th grade when I got to be in the spring show Legally Blonde with my whole family. It was a really great experience just being with them, and it was really fun.
My favorite Lakeview memory is in 10th grade trip week. We got to walk around and see all the street dancers just because it was really cool. My favorite Lakeview tradition is when the cross-country team goes out to eat at like the varsity after our last meet, or sometimes somewhere equally as unhealthy. I'm pretty sure we're going to Waffle House this year. It's really fun because all season we've been trying to like eat healthy and, you know, try to be good athletes, but at the very end of the season we just kind of eat whatever, and it's kind of fun to watch Chitaro just kind of give up and watch us eat like the worst things possible. It's a good time. It's also good for team bonding, which is fun.
My favorite Lakeview memory is on senior trip week when we went ziplining with Miss Ball. She was terrified, and a few naughty words might have escaped her mouth.
My favorite Lakeview memory is senior lotto because it's really cool to have gone here since first grade and watched it every year, and then finally be able to participate 12 years later is like a really cool tradition. Shout out to our mom, Julie Michaels. She's the K4 teaching assistant. It's really cool to be able to see you at any time of the day and come to you, and it's really great to talk to you because you make our day a little better. Love you!
Shout out to Miss Blummer for letting me come and use her piano during my study halls, because that's been really good, especially when I'm needing to like write something for cabaret or like practice. So that's been nice. And also shout out to my boy Butters for letting me bring him around the campus.
Shout out Mrs. McCann. I love you.
Shout out to the learning support ladies. Just thank you so much for helping me. I wouldn't be here without you, so thank you.
My favorite thing about Lakeview is how the teachers care about your grades and the learning environment that it has, and I love all the new friends that I've met.
My favorite memory was definitely on 10th grade trip week. So we always messed around on the bus, and we had really been messing with Palmer. And so he was on the edge, and I threw a Coke bottle at him, and he ran to the back of the bus and slapped Bobby in the face. I'm sorry, Bobby.
My favorite thing about Lakeview is having a one-on-one time with the teachers in smaller classrooms because it's an easier environment to learn in.
My favorite memory was probably last year in Miss Ball's class. Ainsley threw hand sanitizer at me, so I threw it back to her, but I overthrew it and hit Miss Ball. Sorry, Miss Ball.
My favorite thing about Lakeview is everyone being so close and it being like your own little family, and one of my favorite memories is riding roller coasters and hearing Coach Wiley scream.
My favorite Lakeview memory is 7th grade trip week at Disney World because I rode my first roller coaster and we all got really close and had a really great time.
My favorite Lakeview memory is getting out there on the volleyball court and accidentally hitting people in the face and screaming pizza after with my whole team. It's so much fun.
My favorite Lakeview memory is last volleyball season. I wasn't able to play the first few weeks, and then finally Coach Roark leaned over the rail and told me and my team that I was able to play, and we all just went crazy, and it was a really exciting time.
I love Lakeview because
of all the friends I've made since I've gotten here a year ago, and it's all just like one big family, and it's super close, and I love it.
Shout out to Marvin for being the best and always giving me everything that I need.
Shout out to Miss Collins for helping me pass chemistry.
Shout out to Miss Ball and Miss Wald for being the two best teachers I've ever had.
Shout out to Coach Lawley, Mr. Gilbert, and Hamill.
Shout out Miss Ball and all the fun times we had with you reading to us in class.
Shout out to Miss Ball because she's so real and she's a lot of fun to talk to, and I love her class.
Shout out to my dad, or Coach or Dr. Wiley, as you guys might know him. He really pushed me to come into Lakeview, and at first I resisted, but I'm very thankful that he made me come.
Shout out to Marvin Clark because even though you messed up my hair every day for 3 years, you still were really helpful in the class and helped me pass.
Shout out to Miss Collins because she is my favorite person in the world. She's always been there for me and has helped me through a lot of tough assignments and just normal everyday things that I've gone to her for, and she's just the best, and I love her.
I think my favorite Lakeview memory is when we went on our trip in 10th grade with Corral to Nashville, and we got to experience so many different things. We got to go see the Grand Ole Opry, and we got to go to Belmont, which was really cool. We got to tour the school, and it was just a really great experience.
My favorite thing about Lakeview is the family atmosphere we have here. Everyone is just so friendly, and I came here in the middle of my 10th grade year, and having everyone just be so open and able to make new friends, it was a really easy transition.
My favorite memory at Lakeview Academy is the region and state 1 act competition that we did last year. We did 9 to 5, and I got to be Kathy, which was a lot of fun, and I got to like run out on stage and yell at people, so that was fun.
I think I have to say the most memorable moment I've ever had with Lakeview was on the Europe trip. I was going into my sophomore year. First time I kind of been away from home for a long period of time, and I didn't have my parents there, and some others did, but I remember Coach Lawley, he really kind of took me under his wing, and we traveled all over and had a really good time.
My favorite Lakeview memory would have to be in Mr. Waddell's class when he tried to teach us about acceleration and velocity. He was shuffling all around the room trying to demonstrate positive and negative acceleration, and it just made for a very entertaining class.
My favorite Lakeview memory were our school trips we did. My two favorite were Coach Clark's summer ocean studies. We had a lot of fun. We went snorkeling. We did roller coasters, everything, and also Coach Dre's trips to Europe. And I went on his one to Belize. They were all super fun, getting to hang out in new places and spend time with friends.
My favorite Lakeview memory was my first one. I just transferred here after I graduated from 8th grade, and I was really nervous, and I took a summer class with Coach Lawley. He made me feel so welcome that I was really excited to come here. He's made my 4 years here fantastic. Thank you, Lawley.
Shout out to Miss Conrath and Miss Plummer for 5 years in a row. It's been a lot of fun.
I'd like to shout out Miss Ball for always being so nice and supportive in the classroom and out of the classroom, and she's just always so much fun to talk to.
Shout out to Mr. Lovell, the best robotics programmer ever. Thanks for teaching me everything I know.
Shout out to Ms. Ball, because I felt like I learned a lot in that class. Helped me with my English a lot.
Thanks, Coach Lawley, and thank you, Coach Waddell. Appreciate you guys.
I'd like to shout out Coach Waddell for consistently showing up to swim practice at 6:30 in the morning. Thanks, Coach.
I'd like to shout out Miss McFall for helping me with all my essays in and out of her class. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
Snowflakes falling all over town, slipping, sliding, everybody's rushing round. There's an icy chill in the air, telling us that winter's really here. Oh, I'm so glad that Christmas is here. Goodwill, peace, and let out a happy cheer, because it's Christmas season. Christmas, hooray! Christmas cheer will surely blow all your cares away. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, children's spirits bright. What fun it is to ride a sleigh and song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh, because it's jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
My favorite Lakeview memory was 7th grade trip week, because we got to go on Space Mountain and they made me go on it and it was really fun. So
my favorite Lakeview memory was the Chili's dinner after state literary last year, because we had all just won and it was a really amazing experience because we had so much fun, and then we got to go to Chili's and we ate lava cake, so it was pretty fun.
My most meaningful Lakeview memory was 11th grade trip week, because I had just moved here and it gave me the opportunity to bond with my classmates, and I made a lot of friends that week. Everyone was really welcoming and it was just a really great experience.
My most meaningful Lakeview experience was 8th grade trip week when we went to Charleston, because everyone had a lot of fun, we all bonded, and we got to go on the ghost tour with that lady. So she was just really funny and
dramatic.
Yeah, she was really
really dramatic.
My most meaningful Lakeview memory was in 7th grade, or all through middle school, when Miss Leipold and Addie Bales had cancer, and we had the basketball game for Addie, and we made t-shirts for Miss Leipold, and it was just really empowering to see the whole school unite.
I would like to give a shout out to Miss Ball for jumping off that ledge at the ziplining place, even though she was kind of screaming and crying on the way down. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Miss Skinner for being Brock and Isaac's STEM coach.
I'd like to give a shout out to Miss McFall for helping me and like everyone else in our class, I guess, become like a better reader and writer.
Okay, I'd like to shout out Coach Shero for always pushing us to do our best. And even though we don't like the morning practices, it makes us better as a team, so thank you.
I'd like to shout out Miss McFall because she made us do so many speeches and presentations at the beginning of AP Lang that she like really helped me get out of my comfort zone and get better at presenting things.
I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Conrad for being part of our family, starting from my oldest brother Ben, who graduated in like 2010, and making theater a safe place for all of us, and for making us feel so special and so loved and pushing us to be our best.
used to bring me. Why can't I hear music play? My world is changing. I'm rearranging. Does that mean Christmas changes too? Where are you, Christmas? Do you remember the one you used to know? I'm not the same one. See what the time's done. Is that why you have let me go? Christmas is here everywhere. Christmas is here if you care. If there is love in your heart and your mind, you will feel like Christmas all the time. I feel you, Christmas. I know I found you. You never fade away. Oh, the joy of Christmas stays here inside us, fills each and every heart with love. Where are you, Christmas? Where are you, Christmas? Fill your heart with
I think my favorite Lakeview memory is the time period between 1st and 5th grade when Linda made constant counselor appointments to complain about me, but we're best friends now, so it's okay.
My favorite Lakeview memory is in 10th grade. We played basketball in the WAC for the Elite Eight for state, and we beat Darlington, and we made it to the Final Four. And we worked hard all season, and it was really nice to see all our hard work pay off. And we were all so close, and it was really great. It was really great to see that.
My favorite Lakeview memory is on the way to Alabama for our junior trip week. Linda burnt Jetty's hair so bad it was black. And smoky. And stinky.
My favorite Lakeview memory is in 10th grade on the bus ride to DC when we were on the bus for 11 hours and everyone was dancing and listening to music and eating snacks, and Lainey Ewers gave me a back massage.
My favorite Lakeview memory is in 2nd grade in Miss Limmer's class. We all sat in her rug and went around in a circle, sang our favorite things. And I remember KJ said his favorite song was Teardrops on My Guitar by Taylor Swift. Shout out to Miss Chalmers and Mr. O. Thank you for all your art classes. I've had such a good time.
Shout out to my mom, Marty Jones, and to Miss Shandog Ball for being the best people ever.
Shout out to Miss Skinner for being my favorite teacher and being there for me through all these years.
I want to give a shout out to Mr. Anthony because he always wears a smile on his face, and he's done so much work at Lakeview for the past 12 years, and he is so appreciated, and we all see all the stuff that you do, and we're very thankful for everything. Rise up.
Shout out Coach Simpson. We're all just a turtle sitting on a fence post.
I'd like to thank the class of 2019 for their insight, their leadership, and their sense of humor. And I want to thank all of y'all for coming tonight and wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Candlelighting has a long history with people around the world. For centuries, people have burned candles as a part of ceremonies, religious rituals, during celebrations to remember loved ones who have died. As a way of healing and bringing hope, in 1974, Headmaster Baker Turner was instrumental in creating the first Lakeview Candlelight service in order to celebrate the holiday season and the unique Lakeview family bond.
Out of this service arose the tradition of the senior class lighting candles and spreading the flame of love and kindred spirit. Please listen as we share a few quotations that embody the message behind the lighting of these candles.
Light gives of itself freely, filling all available space. It does not seek anything in return. It asks not whether you are friend or foe. It gives of itself and is not thereby diminished.
From within or from behind, a light shines through us upon things and makes us aware that we are nothing, but the light is all.
Thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle. All the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared.
A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle.
Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all. Set us free. Love is the answer.
This little light on mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and give light to everyone in the house.
There's more, much more to Christmas than candlelight and cheer. It's the spirit of sweet friendship that brightens all year.
It's thoughtfulness and kindness, it's hope reborn again, for peace, for understanding, and for goodwill to men.
A candle's flame with its glow brings light to the shadows, and with its warmth it brings light to a smile. It emits hope for those who have none.
Its glow does not die, its warmth does not fade, but rather its flame burns bright and lights the way.
As we reflect tonight on all of the things which we are blessed during this special season of the year, let us remember those in our surrounding community and world and pledge to spread our light, illuminating all within its warm, encompassing glow.
A single candle can illuminate an entire room. A true friend lights up an entire lifetime.
Light a candle for the old man who sits staring out a frosty window pane.
Light a candle for the woman who is lonely, and every Christmas is the same.
Light a candle for the children who need more than presents can bring.
Light a candle for the homeless and the hungry, a little shelter from the cold.
Light a candle for the broken and forgotten. May the season warm their souls.
And in this special time of year, may peace on earth surround us here and teach us that there is a better way to live, and with every flame that burns, we must somehow learn that love is the greatest gift that we could ever give. Light a candle, light the dark, light the world, light a heart or two. Light a candle for me, I'll light a candle for you.
So carry your candle, run to the darkness.
Seek out the helpless, deceived and poor.
Hold out your candle for all to see it.
Take your candle and go light your world.
Take your candle and go light your world.
This Christmas marks the 200th anniversary of the first singing of the well-known Christmas hymn, Silent Night. Joseph Moore wrote the original poem, and Franz Gruber composed the melody. The two men first sang Silent Night together, voice and guitar, at St. Nicola Church near Salzburg, Austria. The song has been carried across the world and is now performed in over 300 languages and dialects. It has been a part of the Lakeview Candlelight tradition for 44 years. Please join us as we sing Silent Night as it was first performed many years ago.
The class of 2019. Thank you again, Mr. Worth. And again, let's hear it one more time for the class of 2019. They're going to be gone pretty soon. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Middle School Student Council President and a fine orator, Will Landers.
Please bow your head for our prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for a wonderful start to this holiday season and for this time shared with family and friends. We are so thankful for the opportunity to gather tonight to celebrate this great tradition of candlelight. We ask for your blessings over the remainder of this season, for your guidance in the upcoming year. Amen.
Thank you, Will. And real quickly before we'll have the senior parents, y'all will stay up there to get some pictures. But Tammy Skinner, would you please stand? Tammy's our fine arts director and has put this together and directed an incredible program. Thank you, Miss Skinner. And I don't know what Miss Barry is. She's back there because she's always behind the scenes, but she filmed these videos. She does about 400 things that aren't in her job description. But Miss Barry, thank you. I know how much time it was. It was fabulous. With that being said, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming. Make sure you take your children home. I know Mr. Drury has room for them all, but he did tell me that not quite yet does he want to have a house full of grandchildren. So seniors, stay up here. We'll take the pictures. Thank you again. Merry Christmas.
Joy started with a baby boy. Oh, before that silent night, no Savior and no Jesus Christ.